Hi, and welcome to today's reading. We are going to be doing predictions for the month of December today. So remember, this is going to be the whole month. There's a lot of cards in each pile. Hope that doesn't bother you. If you want to know anything about me or about this reading, it's going to be in the description, okay? And any kind of news, like what's going to happen for the rest of the week and that kind of stuff, it's going to be at the end, okay? We'll have a timestamp for that. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so pile number 1 is this little reindeer, okay? Pile number 2 is the horses that pull your sleigh while you jingle all the way. Gosh, I really think I think I'm so cool when I say stuff like that. Pile number 3 is the wolf, okay? Pile number 4 is the fox. And pile number 5 is the polar bear. Alrighty, so I'm trying to go with winter animal themes. I don't know if I failed or not. But yeah, while you guys, try to pick which pile looks like the one that you're going to pick, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to start with pile number 1 right now. All right, I don't think it could be more awkward than what I said about the horse, so I'm pretty sure that whatever I say while I'm moving the cards this time isn't going to be that bad. All right, those of you who picked the little deer, okay, here's your reading. Okay, so we have rest, the Page of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. For your Lenormand card, we have the Anchor and the Dog. We have Target and Rat. Okay. And then we have Parenting and Children here too. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the tarot. The tarot lets me know that this is going to be a time where you're going to be getting a lot of gifts of money, or you're going to receive money, or you're going to get a raise, that kind of thing. Sometimes when I see these Pentacle cards, I think there's something about that feels more like materials, but in this reading, it feels more like actual money. So this month you might, get a gift of money, or you might get a raise, or you might get unexpected money somehow, okay? That's what this feels like. With the King of Pentacles here, he's the guy that really feels like he has everything together. So you'll also you'll find that your budget's going to work. You're going to find a budget that works for this month, okay? That's good. Unfortunately, I also get that you might be feeling a little defensive. But the thing about you feeling defensive is that it's going to be more of a perception than it's going to be actuality, okay? So it's almost like you're going to feel like, I almost want to say paranoid, but I mean, I don't think it's going to go that far, but you might feel like there's maybe somebody working against you. It might feel like there's some kind of struggle here. And then we've got the rat here that also kind of, it says someone working against you or behind your back. It's like it's going to feel that way, but I don't feel like it's actually happening. Or you might be around like a very like difficult person, and it's going to feel like it's personal, but it's not personal to you. That's just the way they are. They're just really difficult with everybody, that kind of thing. So just be aware that you're going to be put in this defensive position. And I know it's easier said than done when it's actually happening, but when you're in that defensive position, just know that if you just take note that you're feeling like maybe you want to kind of raise your voice or lash out, or maybe retreat and withdraw because it feels if it feels aggressive or something like that, the best thing you can do is pretend like you don't notice. Okay? Because that's why people do this kind of thing. That's why that's why the kinds of people that are difficult and that kind of thing do that, is because they get a reaction and it makes them feel like they're more important. They don't have the ability to to relate with people in a way that is healthy. So what they do is that they try to get on people's nerves in order to get a reaction. Okay, and I really feel like this person's probably a family member. It might be a coworker, but I really feel like it's a family member for most of you guys. We also have the goal-oriented target card here. So again, like when I associate, like what I think about at goals, I usually think about work. Now I know that there's all sorts of different kinds of goals that you could be having right now. You know, you might want to start a creative endeavor. You might want to, you know, there can be small goals too. You know. That kind of thing. Something that I'd want to do is I want to start a new bullet journal for for the coming year, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel like you are going to be kind of setting those, like, what do I want to do not only this month, but what do I want to do in the next year, that kind of thing. So you're going to be looking ahead. So that's actually good because I really feel like it's you're going to feel a really strong sense of purpose this month. So we have the parents and children card here, which lets me know that, and it wouldn't be too strange to see this in a December reading, that you'll probably be around some family members, okay? If you're not, then this is going to refer to your work or your vocations, maybe some place where you're going to volunteer, where you're around a lot of parents and children, like maybe a parent-teacher conference, or maybe there's some kind of event you're organizing. Maybe you teach dancing classes to kids and they're going to put on a Christmas show, and you've got to invite their parents and all of that. It's like that kind of thing. Just because it's easy, honestly, it's easy to make the interpretation that this is going to have to do with family. That's kind of what I'm going with, but it could be anything, you know, but it's just the parents and children are coming up to let us know that that's going to play a big role. I think it's really interesting that we've got this defensive kind of feeling here, and then we've got the rat, where it's, and again, I feel like it's more of a feeling than it's an actuality. Okay, I don't actually think there's actually people that maybe might be trying to overthrow you in any way or anything like that. I actually feel like it's just a feeling that you're going to have. Maybe you're just overwhelmed. I mean, people can feel really overwhelmed when, for example, like I do when I go out anytime at the end of November through December. If I actually go to a physical place like a store and all of that, with the current times right now and COVID going around, that's not something that I would do as much, like not this year, but I can kind of feel defensive just being out, right? But yeah, with this, I think it's really interesting that we've got the anger and the dog, because that lets us know that you are going to feel very secure in a close relationship, some kind of friendship. This could be a love relationship. The dog does have, is in the heart suit, so that can deal with matters of the heart, although the dog is more typically shown as a friend. Something that I've noticed that comes up for me when I'm doing readings for other people is that if that person is in a relationship already, then the dog card comes up for that for their person that they're interested in. If the person they're interested in is already in a relationship, the dog always comes up for them. So just keep that in mind. I really feel like this is more likely a friendship than a romantic thing, but it could be the friendship with a romantic person that somebody who, your person, the whoever's on your heart right now. Your advice is to get more rest. Okay, it's really important that you pace yourself and that you find that time to take care of yourself during this whole time. And it does look a little. Just a little hectic in that we've got a lot of goal setting, and we've got the financial stuff going on. Parents and children. Whenever I think about children, like lots of children, I get very nervous. Not big. I don't have anything against children. I love children. I have kids. I love my kids. It's just they are so hard to predict. It's so hard, and I can get kind of frazzled. So that's why I'm saying, it looks like really it'll take a lot of energy, but really the rest is really important. You might find that you might feel like taking naps more often this month, and that's okay. You also might find that you might find that you're just going to sleep longer, and that kind of stuff. I would suggest, to anticipate for that, going to sleep earlier, so that you're not sleeping in so much. And yeah, as far as the rest goes, one thing that I want to say about this, that as far as like what's not showing up, I'm not seeing a whole lot of I'm not seeing a whole lot of emotional turmoil this month. So I'm seeing that emotionally things are calmed. But then on the other hand, I'm also not seeing a whole lot of real cerebral things going on either. So like the head and the heart, it's like they're really balanced this month for you. They're not really going to be doing a whole bunch of work. You're going to find that what you're doing this month is going to be a lot more of like that action and goal setting, that kind of thing, which is probably why sitting still is so important, because you will be kind of moving your body a lot. In fact, I actually want to say, now that comes up, is that you might actually start some kind of new exercise routine or something like that this month too. So I just wanted to point that out too. That said, there is your December prediction. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and like or subscribe, or not, just whatever. Leave me a comment, tell me how it goes. Alrighty, pile number 2. Those of you who picked the horse, here is your reading for December. Okay, we've got playtime. Okay, don't freak out, because I know this card freaks people out. Okay, first we've got the Ten of Swords. I know it doesn't look fun. And we've got the Emperor, we've got the Queen of Swords. Okay, here we've got the Clover and the Storks. Got Box and the Wheel. Okay, and then we have a problem resolved. Okay, I didn't even see that before I saw this, so I think that's kind of a nice thing there. Okay, so first off, I just want to bring attention to this. I think this is so funny. We actually have "you will receive a gift," right? And it's in the holiday season. Yeah, you probably will receive a gift, right? But let's just kind of get to the meat of your reading here. You're going to face something that's going to feel like, it might feel like a betrayal, or it might feel like, man, I am all done. I'm like so done with this situation, that kind of thing. Either somebody might like offend you in some way, and you feel like maybe a relationship is over, or a relationship is just, I don't know, maybe it's like kind of too weird for it to go on for you. And that is going to really, like, interesting enough, is actually going to be resolved by the end of the month. So the beginning of the month, you're going to feel this somehow. So, end of the month, that's going to resolve. It's kind of an interesting thing. We also have the Emperor, and the Emperor energy brings with it another kind of feeling of being in control and managing, all the different areas of your life and that kind of stuff. He isn't the most romantic person in the world, but he is a very good, like, father figure, that kind of thing. A very good, I would even say a very great symbol of an introverted man, or introverted male energy. That's going to be kind of where you're working with the most this month. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, or trans or anything. It's just that this Emperor energy is like, I got this. I've got this under control. It's like, I don't see you feeling like anything's overwhelming or anything like that. I feel like you've planned very well for this month already. And so that's good. But you'll feel like you're very in control of a lot of aspects, though. It's not just like, okay, well, I've got this month, this is good. It's like, I feel like like, for example, if you're more emotionally driven, or if you're more prone to, let's say, anxiety, and all of that kind of stuff, or worrying, it's like you're gonna feel more calm this month, because I just feel like you feeling so in control, and so it's like things that normally would bother you don't bother you as much, which is kind of a weird thing, given that we've got this kind of like immediate, like, kind of feeling of betrayal, or feeling like, you know what, I'm done with this situation, I'm not gonna, that kind of thing. At the very beginning, we also have the Queen of Swords that reinforces that Emperor energy. The Queen, we've got somebody who's caring, that has feminine energy and does want to provide for people, just like the Emperor does have that nurture. He takes care of his people. But we also have, she's got the sword, so she's in her thoughts. She's in control of her thoughts. She has feelings too. I don't want this to look too one-sided, but it's like she feels in control. She feels at peace with her own thoughts. Okay. And that's what I wanted to kind of highlight here, especially since we have this card starting out here. We've got the problem solved. We've got a good problem solver here, and we've got the Queen of Swords, who is very composed. She would be the kind of person who might show more wisdom than she might show charity, let's say, as a queen. But it's like, I just feel like you really, it's like you're in a flow state. You really got this, that kind of thing. You also are going to have a little bit of luck with movement. This could be that you're going to get lucky, and maybe you might see somebody who lives far away. I just got to say, right now, at least in some areas, COVID's going on, and that might not be such a great idea. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there. But I just feel like there's going to be some luck that has to do with family, most likely seeing them, or that maybe they're going to be moving, or you're going to be moving. It's just the Stoics. It just has such a feeling of movement with it, is what I'm trying to say. There's also this kind of thing with the Stoics that talks about like bringing new things into your life. That could be what's going on here, but I feel like that doesn't really fit the rest of the reading here. So I really feel like this is something like some kind of lucky, like a happy coincidence, where you run into somebody, or maybe somebody calls that you aren't expecting, or maybe you actually physically see somebody that's a positive thing in your life. Okay. Your advice card is playtime, which really makes sense, considering the Emperor and the Queen energy is just so like like that. It's like very boxed in. It's very like, I've got this, boom, 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 that kind of thing. I hope I'm explaining myself well, because I don't feel like that's very descriptive. But the playtime is just like, it's okay to loosen up, that kind of stuff. I feel like this is going to be a time where, like, for example, if people make jokes around you, you might like be less likely to get them. I go through phases like that myself, but I just feel like it's like there's going to be this kind of like this clash somehow between like people like trying to have fun, trying to lighten things up and everything, and you understanding that it feels like it's a very like you're on a different level kind of thing, not necessarily a better or worse level, but just you're not like seeing eye to eye with people, just people in general. It's okay to just kind of loosen up, understand that not everything is very serious, and and that you can lighten up if you want. Or another thing that this could let you know is just that people are going to be very playful around you. So do whatever you need to deal with that if you're one of those people that is like, no, things must be serious and all of this. One thing that you're gonna feel, it's weird, this card's coming up, the wheel. It's kind of like just kind of allowing things to happen and also being a little indecisive. Whatever problem this represents for you, it's going to be resolved in a way that is going to be just naturally resolved, okay? I don't feel like you're going to have to actually take a whole lot of action to get this resolved. Now, if there's an obvious action to take, obviously do it, okay? But it's just, it feels like the answer is going to more present itself or reveal itself rather than you're going to make it happen, if that makes sense, okay? So I don't see you having to try real hard this month. It's like the month is just going to go by and it's going to be pretty smooth, which to me is a really excellent reading if we're talking about December, because December is hectic. So hope you liked the reading. If you did, make sure to like the video. You can subscribe. I'm going to be putting out lots and lots more videos, or leave a comment. Tell me how it goes. All right, those of you who picked the third pile, here's the wolf pile here. Pile number 3, here's your reading. Okay, so we have Weight, the Queen of Wands. Okay, interesting. We've got the 5 of Pentacles, but followed by the World. Okay, we've got the Tower, and then we've got the Coffin, right? The Unicorn. Okay. The Claw, and Dreams Coming True. Oh, how interesting. That's very positive, right? Okay, so I just want to tell you what the layout here. This is your advice card. This is supposed to somehow bring these together to let us know what's going on. These are some things to just kind of keep in mind. This is kind of like a summary of your month, and then this is kind of the meat of the reading. So I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of passion. I also see a lot of intuition on your end. You're going to be feeling. I even want to go as far as to say it's more like precognition. It's like you're going to just know what's going to happen, and things will just kind of unfold that way this month, which I think is really interesting, because I've just noticed that precognition is one of those abilities that is less popular among people who are intuitive. But anyway, yeah. So we've got this lovely, nurturing, loving, creative force combined with the kind of fiery creative, well, I said creative already, but kind of with the fiery imagery that the wands present. We've got the sunflower, so it's happy, very warm person, that kind of thing. So that's what you're going to be feeling like, and that's also going to be what you're going to be attracting. You're going to have one point, though, where you're going to feel left out, okay? There's just something that you're going to feel left out of. It might be a really, really big deal to you, but what the reading is telling me is that it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, okay? So if you feel like left out, like maybe you're not invited to a party, or maybe you're, which might actually be a good thing given the COVID stuff going on right now, but or it might be that normally you do something and you're not doing it. Like maybe you normally like donate to charity and you're not doing that. It's like you're going to be left out of something that you normally do around this time, okay? But that's going to be fine. We've got the World and Dreams Coming True, which, and first off, this is a major arcana card. So this tells us that this is going to be more dominant energy than either one of these, okay? This is going to be a very, very dominant energy for you. And Dreams Coming True, something's going to manifest for you by the end of the year, and the end of the month here, that is really going to bring together something major for you. This is a general reading, so I can't say what the nature of that is. I can just say that I mean, this is a big thing. Like whatever it is that you're thinking in your mind, as far as like, man, it would be great if this thing worked, or if this other thing came together for me, or whatever. That's going to be the thing. Okay, it's most likely something you're very aware of that you just want to work out, or you just want it to come together, something like that. Okay. The general summary is that like any kind of feeling of isolation is going to come to an end, okay? The tower can sometimes represent corporations. It can sometimes represent organizations and stuff like that. But in this reading, I feel like this is kind of like a reflection of this card, which is kind of feeling left out. I feel like the tower is more a show of isolation, feeling kind of lonely maybe. Even people who are more withdrawn can feel lonely sometimes. So, even if you're normally kind of like an introvert and that kind of thing, you'll still feel like that you've got something more quality coming for you. So, like, the coffin isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just shows that something's ended. Something has come to a conclusion. So any kind of loneliness you've been feeling is going to end. Okay. Here we've got another thing that's kind of, to me, it's kind of showing in context with the queen. We've got the unicorn, which talks about using your intuition. And, I feel like that's not going to be something you're going to even have to do on purpose. It's like sometimes I'll tell people, oh, pay attention to your dreams, or, oh, pay attention to the little coincidences you see, because somebody's trying to tell you something, or something like that. I'm not getting that with this. I'm getting that it's more like you're in a flow state when it comes to intuition. Like, you're just going to know. Somehow you're going to just know what's going to happen next, and it's going to just play out that way. So you'll probably see this coming, by the way, the world getting what you want, and dreams coming true, that kind of thing. This one's kind of interesting. We've got the claw. It's all about being careful, basically. You might come across a situation where you might want to be impulsive. You might want to react rather than respond, that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with being human and doing the impulsive thing, or reacting instead of responding. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what humans do. But this is just saying it would be best that if you find yourself in a hot situation where you'd normally just react somehow, or you'd make a quick decision, take a step back and be careful about taking any kind of risks, even if it might not feel risky. Like some, one like impulsive thing that you might want to do is spend money, be intimate with somebody, that kind of thing, and it's like, just take a step back and try to see the bigger picture. And if this is really that great of an idea, it just warns against taking big risks. Obviously, if, I can't give any kind of financial advice at all, so please don't take this as financial advice. But like, if you play the stock market a lot, don't make a high risk decision there. That kind of thing is what it's warning about. It's also talking about just being cautious in general. Not that there's anything that's going to happen. It's just, I just feel like right now is a time where you want to protect yourself. And again, it really doesn't have to do with anything coming at you. It's not really about protecting yourself from something. It's more about putting up some more boundaries there that maybe might help you feel more healthy, that kind of thing. So you've got your advice card is wait, which really plays into this. So don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. Okay, I just want to show you that that's what's written on this card. Normally I don't look at what's written, but I think that's kind of interesting here because it really plays into this. It's just be patient. Make sure that you're not doing anything out of turn. Make sure that you're not taking too many risks, that kind of thing. The World card I have seen, like the Wheel of Fortune, can sometimes talk just about that, like, divine timing thing. It might be that this dream's coming true. The World card is going to be much more towards that very last week of the month, okay? And that's why this is talking about waiting. Like if you feel this, if you feel kind of left out, if you feel kind of ignored maybe, if you feel kind of, maybe unworthy in some situation, understand that it's going to come full circle. It's going to get to that point where you are going to feel a lot better. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Something's going to turn around for you by the end of the month here. And it's going to be really, really cool. So there's your reading. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. You can leave a comment and tell me how this goes. I'd be really, really interested to know what that world or the dream coming true card is referring to. And I'd really appreciate that. That'd be cool. Alrighty. Hi, pile number 4. You guys picked the fox. Yeah, there's a fox. Sorry, I get a little weird with animals. My dad, he's passed away, but he used to talk to me like an animal. Like that just I'm so weird. Like I just want you guys to know I recognize I'm weird. But like when I said, "Oh, here, it's a fox," I thought about my dad. I was like, "Oh," and my dad used to talk to me like, "Oh, hi Cassie, how are you doing?" It was so cute. Anyway, okay, so please just bear with me. Here's your reading. We've got Healing Heart. We've got the Moon, Temperance. Oh, this is going to be a big month for you. Okay, and we've got the Nine of Wands. All right, we've got the Mountain, and we've got the Garden. Okay. We've got the Forest. We've got the Well, and then we have New Location. Interesting. All right. So the first thing I want to say is that this new location card, I kind of feel like this is more about being in a different space in your mind, okay, more than it's actually physical location. But if you're one of the people that's watching, because I feel like there are some people watching that are either thinking about making a small move or a big move, just know that that's going to come. It's weird because, I'm supposed to be reading for December, yet what I'm getting from this card intuitively is that it's like, it's okay, that's going to happen. It might not happen this month, but it will happen. Like you might continue to take actions to get to your new location, but I don't feel like it's going to happen this month. Or it might be. I mean, for some of you guys, it might happen. But it just feels like, I don't know, this card just kind of reminds me of February. There's some kind of February vibe to it. So I'm going to say that, if you're watching this for December's, whatever this new location thing is going to manifest in February, but you're going to definitely be dealing with it this month too. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and start with the meat of your reading, which is these tarot cards. We've got 2 major arcana cards, and we've got the Moon and Temperance. Those are really nice cards to kind of come together. The Moon, we're talking about things that are kind of cloaked, okay? This doesn't necessarily mean things that are hidden, although it can mean that, okay? I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it typically means more like things that are done under the cover of night, things that are more maybe sacred, more intimate, more secretive, that kind of thing, but not necessarily secrets. I mean, it can talk about that, but I feel like for this month, we're talking about there's going to be this is going to sound weird, there's going to be a lot of action at night, or there's going to be a lot of things that are going to kind of be on the down low you're going to be working on, but they're like major things. It's good things. And then we've got the Temperance, like you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing right here. You're not, it's like the just right card. I call it the Goldilocks card because she's always talking about wanting to be in that place. It's just right. Temperance is all about, not giving into excess, but also, not just not doing anything, it's just like, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it's like perfect. It's really balanced. But unlike, for example, Justice, Temperance is more of a more active oriented card. It's also the card for Sagittarius, which is this month. The Moon, just while I'm on it, I believe the Moon is the card for Pisces. I might be wrong there, okay? But I think it's the card for Pisces. So it's kind of interesting that we've got two cards there that represent those astrological things. In the Nine of Wands coming out here, though, I feel like you've got something that's all lined up. It could be this move. It could be a new, a new place that you are in your mind, like where you're just thinking about things a little bit different, that there's going to be some kind of process here that in getting to this point where you've got everything together, you're going to get hurt a little bit. It's not going to be like it's not going to be like major pain, but you are going to be experiencing some like growing pains this month. Just know, I mean, that's just natural. It just comes with the territory. When you're growing, when you're doing some major things, there's going to be some pain involved. You know, I kind of think about the creative process as like giving birth. So there's going to be birthing pains to whatever that new thing is that you're going to create. So I just kind of feel like this is very similar to birth pains, but birth pains are very, like, they're pretty intense. So I don't feel like it's going to be nearly that intense. We're just talking about just there's going to be some heartache, but it's not like major heartache. What I think is really interesting here is that we have the mountain usually represents blocks, okay, or a problem, but I feel like this is a block. There's some kind of block here to like being someplace in the public. That's not necessarily a bad thing for you though, because I feel like things, you know, especially with the temperance, things are balanced. You know, we've got the moon energy, so we've got things, you don't necessarily want things to be all out in the open. So maybe this is kind of like an advice as well as telling you, well, don't put a whole lot of things out there. Wait for it to come together. Wait for it to get to that point where it's solid and then reveal it. Maybe the following month, not this month, that kind of thing. With the well, we do have some family wishes coming true. So some kind of, you know, this could be you personally. I really feel like it's going to be a family member though, like somebody that's not you. Maybe your brother or sister or your mom is going to announce that they're engaged. Maybe one of your nephews is going to get a really awesome raise. You know, it's just some kind of, you know, maybe your cousin that's been having a really hard time getting into grad school is finally going to get there. It's like it's something big enough that it's going to kind of ripple through the family, and it's positive, okay? And it'll be positive for you too. Your joy is in this too, okay? So this isn't necessarily something that's like, oh, well, it's great. Somebody else is doing really well, but no, it's going to bring you joy as well, okay? But we also have the forest. This is the only negative card I really see. You know, the block can be negative, but it depends on what's on the other side, like what you want to happen. Now, if what you're working on here under the, you know, the cloak of the night is to be in public somehow, that could be a problem, right? But I feel like this is more of a warning to not reveal too much too soon, than it is necessarily saying, you know, yep, do not enter, you're not going to be able to go here, you know, that kind of thing. I don't feel like it's so much that kind of energy. With the forest, we do have some hazy thinking here. I am going to say that I also kind of go with a little bit of a non-traditional interpretation of the forest, especially with the moon here, is that things are going to feel really wild. They're going to feel really like, oh gosh, what's the word? I mean, I want to say animalistic, but that's a little bit too far on that other side. It's like it's going to feel very, gosh, what's the word? I don't think I'm going to find it. Like it's going to feel real natural, but in a more, like maybe visceral is a good word. Things are going to feel really excited. It's like a combination of feeling excited and wild and unknown at the same time. It's a very like provocative type feeling, okay? That's what I'm getting from the forest card. I'm getting that more than I'm getting confused thinking, okay? If you go through a few days during this month with confused thinking, just know that you know, it's coming up, it's probably gonna happen. That pretty much happens to everybody though. So I do have to acknowledge that is a pretty like blanket statement that might apply to anybody. I just have to acknowledge that because it's so, I mean, it so feels like it's not even really me giving you a reading, you know, but just kind of keep that in mind that this has been forecasted in your whole thing here. One thing that I'm not seeing here, what this talks about, is I'm not seeing a whole lot of obvious love energy here, like with romance and that kind of thing. The moon, now that can definitely be a romance card, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of obvious cards. There's not like a few cards that are all talking about love and all of that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. And we have healing heart right now. You're a powerful healer. Keep the good work. I don't know if that message is necessarily what I'd say that this represents when we're talking about the whole reading, though. I feel like the message is more like right now is a time where maybe some of those like romantic feelings is kind of going to take a back seat, in that you're not going to have to do as many things to take care of that aspect of your life. Either your person's going to be taking care of it, or you're in a time of healing where withdrawing from that is going to feel appropriate. It's not going to feel unnatural. It'll feel appropriate. All right, guys. I hope you liked your December reading. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. You can always subscribe. We've got more stuff coming every week. And you could comment or not, just whenever you feel like doing. Hi guys, finally, we've got, you guys picked the polar bear there. We've got the polar bear people here. All right. So, your advice card, you're being helped. Okay, we've got the Four of Cups, we've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Ten of Wands. Oh, how funny. We also have the polar bear. The bear in this particular Lenormand set is the polar bear. That's so funny to me. And then we've got the fox. Okay, so we had a fox earlier with the people that picked this guy. Yeah, that's a little fox. Okay, we have the eye, we've got the dragon, and we have new opportunity. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I love it when the cards make sense together as well. First off, we've got, I want to start here because I think it's really interesting. You're going to be experiencing some intuitive experiences, and it's weird because this is the third pile that has some kind of message that's along that line. So I don't know what's going on, but astrologically, I'm not an astrologist, but it's like you're going to be there. But I feel like for you guys, it's going to come through more in things that you see, like dreams, the visual imagery of the dreams. You might see some symbols that have meaning for you. You might see some coincidences, that kind of thing. So kind of keep that in mind, that you're going to feel like you're going to be having intuitive insight, okay, through what you can see, okay? Let's go back to the meat of this, which is the tarot cards, though. We've got the Four of Cups. Now, this is kind of like two ways. I feel like this is going to apply to you guys. I feel like there's going to be an offer, but it's not going to be one that you're really interested in. I don't feel like it's going to feel like this. New opportunity. It's not going to feel like that. It's just going to be like, here's something you could do, or you could have, or you could participate in if you want, and you might say yes out of boredom, like, okay, well, that's something to do, or you might be like, nah, it's just, I don't feel you feeling too excited about this, okay? So, for those of you who think, kind of more on the lines that I think when I feel this card, when I feel this kind of energy, it's like, people might be like kind of imposing on you, kind of trying to get you to do things that you don't really want to do. You might want to just try it though, because, you may as well say yes to one or two things. I mean, this is a neutral card. It's not really saying yes, do that, or no, don't do it. It's just telling me a mood, and it just so kind of keep that in mind for those of you who don't really feel imposed by people asking you things. People are going to be asking you to do things that you're not as interested in. And again, just know that that's going to happen. This is not saying what you should do about it. It's just saying that's going to happen. Knight of Swords, we've got somebody with a message for you, okay? You're going to get some, first off, you're going to notice that a lot of people are going to want to talk to you. And when I say talking, I mean meaningful talk. I'm not saying just like people be like saying hi and bye and see you later like that. I mean, people are going to be having meaningful conversations with you. Let them speak. That's what I'm getting from this. It's like, let them speak. Try that. There's a little, it's a little activity you can do that it's like, just pause for about 2 or 3 more seconds than you normally would when you're having a conversation with somebody, because I feel like they have just something more to tell you and they want to get that out too. So just be aware that people are going to want to communicate to you. So become open to that, be receptive to that. Okay, this could go with this card also as saying that people are going to be offering you maybe pieces of wisdom, their heart, they might be offering you insight into them, and maybe you're not going to be that interested in it, but maybe later it'll be important. Although I do feel like this stands on itself, like by itself, I do think that there is some things that can, these 2 cards can be tied together as well. We also have you finishing a project. A big project's going to end. A piece of that project's going to end. For some of you guys, it's going to end and it's like everything's done. It's great. You're ready for the next step, which is either a new project or you're ready for the next step in that project. And for others, it's like something's finally going to come together and allow that project to happen. Okay? I feel like most of you guys are going to be in the first camp. Most of you guys are about to finish a project. Okay? Something here, beware of self-delusion. I think that's kind of an interesting card to come out here. I don't feel like this has to do with hope so much, because the whole concept of hope. There's a quote. That's why I sighed. There's a quote that just came to my mind. It's in one of the Dragonlance series, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that series, even though a lot of people love it. But I remember reading it when I was, I was a teenager. My goodness, it was a long time ago. And it said, hope is the denial of reality. I both love and dislike that quote at the same time, because in one way it almost kind of like takes that and so like, yeah, oh yeah, don't hope. But at the same time, I think that hope is important. With this self-delusion, the reason I say it doesn't have to do with hope. I don't feel like it has to do with anything outside of yourself. It doesn't have to do with you being like, gosh, I really hope that this project is finished by the end of the year. It's not like that. It's more like there's something you're telling yourself that isn't quite true. The thing that I'm being guided to say is be very aware of projections. Okay, this is when I don't care about politics, like who you support or who you don't support, but it's just a great example. Projection is when Donald Trump says, oh yeah, the whole Biden family is corrupt and they've got, they've been doing illegal activity, when, we know that, Donald Trump has been doing some illegal things with his company, or so it seems from the reports. Okay, I don't want to make this about politics, but that's a really good example of projection. Another really simple example is just when you feel like somebody doesn't like you, and instead of saying, I don't think they like me, you might say, I don't like them. So it's like, that's the kind of stuff that you might be coming into contact with. I'm being guided to say another one. Another one would be like, if you feel like somebody's giving you mixed signals, but really you're also giving mixed signals, and maybe there's something you could do to help that person be more clear with you as well. That's another example. Okay, no more example, guys. I need to get through this. I think you know what I mean, though. This is about some kind of behavior, some kind of habit that you're doing, that you can kind of break that habit. So new opportunity, yeah, there's going to be something new coming out. This is brand new, though. This is not something that you can see coming. This is not, maybe some of you have, okay? I shouldn't say that. Maybe some of you have, but this is new as in it's new in this month, it's not connected, at least I'm not getting that it's connected to anything obvious for you. The opportunity feels to me like it has to do with some kind of creative endeavor, but it could be anything. It could, this is a general reading, can't get into too much specifics, but there's going to be some kind of new opportunity. Maybe it's a new opportunity at your job, or maybe it's a new opportunity in school, or maybe it's a new opportunity with, the person that, you're interested in, your person, that thing. But it feels like it's some kind of creative endeavor for me. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Then we've got the bear and the fox. Okay, these two cards are both very work-oriented when we're talking about the Lenormand. We've got the bear typically represents a boss, and a fox typically represents some kind of coworker, and it generally is very, very positive in that context. Okay, so I want to say the traditional reading of this is that there's going to be a very positive relationship with a boss and a coworker. You're going to be able to you're going to feel positive at work. For those of you who don't work or are students, it would be like a teacher and other students, okay? But I feel like for a lot of you, this isn't going to be what this is about. This is going to be about some kind of family member, a woman who is older, could be a mother, a mother-in-law, an older sister, an older cousin, an aunt, just somebody who's older or who at least acts older. It could be a grandmother, and they're kind of meddling. They're kind of getting, it's almost like you feel like they're up to no good in your life. This is just a thing that's going to happen. It's not. I find that sometimes when we have difficult family members, or when we have a family member that's acting difficult, it can really get to us sometimes. And I feel like this is coming up to let me tell you guys that it's not as big of a deal as it's going to feel like at the time. I'm not trying to say that whatever emotional response you have to this isn't valid, but it's going to end up being just a non-issue by the end of the month, okay? So just kind of keep in mind that either you're going to be great at work, or there's going to be some kind of, just weird situation with a family member. It would be a female, okay? This is female feminine energy, okay? So it could be a male that has a lot of feminine energy. So just kind of keep that in mind. For some of you guys, it's probably going to be both. So also keep that in mind. You're being helped. This is a really interesting card to come up, because there's so many different ways of interpreting it, and in a lot of this particular reading here doesn't have a whole lot of spirituality in it. Okay, and when I say that, it's like the High Priestess didn't come up. We're not talking like the cross didn't come up. Here, there could be a lot more spiritual type things in this reading, but this is like you're being helped. I kind of feel like for some of you, this is just a validation that yes, you have some kind of help in the universe, whatever you name it. If it's a guardian angel, if it's spirit guides, even if it's like your higher self, or just the universe is taking care of you, that kind of thing. It's like that. But I think for most of you, it's actually an actual person or an event is going to really help you out this month, okay? And for a lot of you, more so than this, when I said it could be both for this, for a lot of you, it's actually both. It's just you've got a lot of help from not only on the spiritual end of things, but or the natural end of things, because it could be, help from the environment and that kind of thing. But you also have help with some people in your life, or some person in your life is going to be helping you out a lot. So kind of keep that in mind too. So this is a pretty good reading here. The only negative thing really is about the self-delusion, although a meddling family member can be pretty, it's like, I feel like it's not necessarily negative, it's just difficult, if that makes sense. So there's your reading for the month. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button. You could subscribe. We've got more stuff coming. You could leave a comment. Tell me how that polar bear situation ended up for you guys. Right. Thank you guys so much for coming to this end message. So what we have for the rest of December, okay? We're going to have a message from your person reading, okay? We're going to have a what do I need to know right now reading, okay? So that's going to be more for everybody, kind of like this December reading. I typically focus on love personally, so that's why I'm saying that. I do love readings. We are going to have that intuitive exercise with Turi coming out this week. We were thinking it was going to be able to come out last week, but we weren't expecting all of the stuff that happens around the holidays. And he's, some of you guys might know this, he's in Australia actually. And so it is getting to be summer down there, and his air conditioner went out, and oh my gosh, he hates being hot. Can't explain how much he hates that. And so he just couldn't, I don't even feel like, he didn't tell me this, but I bet he couldn't even think to do it because he was so like uncomfortable. So he's just so you know, as of the day that this is filming, he's getting it fixed. Okay, so he'll be good, but just know that. I also wanted to say in our merch store, our merchandise, it's getting a little bit, it's a little bit difficult for us to kind of get that synced up with YouTube. There's like a little bit of a few days out, so keep that in mind. We've got some new merchandise that is like some apparel items that are twin flame related and soulmate related, that me and Turi designed in our store. If you want to see that, that's going to be, you can just follow the merchandise, the merch link below, or you can go to my store on YouTube. I think that there's actually a tab for that, but the merch link goes directly to my store on Teespring. So that's where you would see that. The code SAVE, S-A-V-E, in all capital letters, that is going to be good through December 7th. So you can still get 20% off with that deal, okay? So that said, I am looking forward to giving you some more readings, maybe seeing you at a private reading. Just want to remind you guys, Turi is excellent. He's really, really good. So those of you who want to get his perspective on things, definitely order some readings from him. He does a really good job there. But yeah, I will see you at the next video.